Chartered accountants in industry are the backbone of financial stewardship, governance, and strategic decision making, shaping and driving the future across sectors. Namaskar and warm welcome to all. Chartered accountants play pivotal roles as CFOs, CEOs, auditors, strategists, and policy advisors, upholding the core values of integrity, excellence, and independence. They are at the forefront of driving governance, financial discipline, and strategic success through initiatives like specialized knowledge programs, national conferences, CFO summits, awards, campus placements, and leadership development. The CMIB nurtures an ecosystem where our members can excel, innovate, and contribute meaningfully to Vixit Bharat 2047. Let us together script the new chapter of professional excellence, economic growth, and ethical leadership. ICAI is immensely proud of each one of you. Thank you.
In this present global panorama, marked by rapid regulatory and technological disruptions, the demand of chartered accountants have grown manifold not only in India but across the world. CAs are playing a pivotal role in protecting the public interest by being a custodian of the financial landscape. Chartered accountants are also playing an important role in promoting the adoption of innovative technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning. The increased adoption of these new gen technologies is contributing to the ease of doing business and are paving the way for a brighter future. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is deeply committed to creating a comprehensive professional ecosystem that meets the changing needs of society. A multitude of progressive initiatives have been developed to equip chartered accountants with the knowledge and the skills required to take on the new challenges of the 21st century. I would like to reiterate that chartered accountants have been and will continue to be at the forefront of driving economic growth in India. At ICAI, we are dedicated to our members and will continue to strive for their success.
No economy can really go ahead unless until there is very active contribution of the members in industry. Sitting here in India, more than 1 lakh chartered accountants through global capability centers or this outsourcing work is doing the audit of the best of the companies of the world. And when my chartered accountant here is doing that audit, the CPA of USA is ready to sign that balance sheet. The chartered accountant of UK is very happy to sign that balance sheet because he is very well aware that if it has been audited by the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, maybe sitting in India only through technology only, then they are very, very safe, they are in a very, very safe and secure hand, and they can very well rely on the work of the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I am really very happy that I am amongst the best of the accounting professionals of India, because the way Pune has been developed industrially, financially, I think great contribution of all of you. We are really grateful, really indebted to all of you for your great help and support, not only to the ICAI, but to your respective trade and industry, and in turn to our great country Bharat. With the help and support of all of you, we will certainly be going to be Vixit Bharat by 2047, and there would be great contribution of the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India.
Honorable Prime Minister asked the Institute that हम पूरे दुनिया को दवाई सप्लाई करते हैं, तो क्या हम अकाउंटिंग सर्विस प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं? And Institute responded in affirmative and said, yes, we can do that. And today also there are number of organizations which are rendering these services sitting in India, and in big way. Earlier it was only what you call as a back office, but today, right from data entry till presenting before the board, all those services are being rendered from India by Indian chartered accountants. So we said yes, and then batch services were added in Gift City. If you render those services, you are eligible for the tax exemption, eligible to have your office there. That is bookkeeping, accountancy, and taxation. So those services also can be rendered from Gift City and enjoy the tax holiday for 10 years. So friends, certainly the days are exciting. We are witnessing that more and more chartered accountants who are qualifying are being attracted towards industry, and we want to make this particular forum a very vibrant forum.
I'll start with you, Chandrasekhar sir. Now, sustainability is moving from a report to a regulated standard. What is ICAI's roadmap for 2026 for this to ensure Indian CFOs are prepared for mandatory ESG assurance? Your thoughts?
As you are aware, as far as ESG reporting is concerned, the standards have been prepared by the institute. I think world over they would be followed because there are no credible standards available. For ESG, the institute is also offering training to all the CFOs, all those who are associated with maybe compiling, reporting, implementation, as well as those who are associated with reporting, because it is called as triple bottom line. So chartered accountants are already reporting and auditing on the profits, but planet and people, I think the institute is really training for this purpose of how to implement, how to report, how to check. Now, what we are envisaging is going forward for getting international business and orders, and maybe even domestic from government and others, they would be looking at your ESG compliance and how better you are performing in this particular behalf. And the better you perform, I think better you will have business growth. We had one meeting relating to ESG where certain CFOs of listed corporates were invited. So one of the pharmaceutical companies informed us that there is a US company, if it comes and places the order, I think for 3-4 days their checking goes on about the plant, about the quality and all those things. But as far as this company is concerned, they did wound up their investigation into 1 day.
Sir, your thoughts?
Actually, I'd like to add a business angle to this. What is the cost of quality?
Right.
And people used to say that we want to give a better quality, but we cannot afford the cost. Toyota turned this around to say that for improving quality, your costs actually go down because you start eliminating wastage of man hours, you start eliminating wastage of material, and quality actually drove costs down. I think similarly in the ESG frame, many new opportunities are going to open up on the business side. And I'll strongly recommend those who are interested to read a book by John Doerr.
Okay.
John Doerr was the first venture capitalist who put money in Amazon and Google, and we can imagine what kind of wealth he has. Yeah. He says that the next big opportunity for businesses is ESG.
Okay.
So the climate change and a number of other things. So the name of the book is Speed and Scale by John Doerr. I strongly recommend that.
So there are some like big takeaways from the book, that you would like to sort of suggest to all the viewers, and that's why you would want them, to also read the book. Yes.
And India is better placed because in carbon emission, we are taking steps. But USA is highest in carbon emission and they are not taking steps. So maybe India is a better position for on that count.
I'll come back to you, sir. I want to understand, how has your hedging strategy changed for the year 2026? And are you then, sort of trying to play it safe?
I'm not the right person to ask about hedging strategy.
Yes.
Because we believe in longer-term unhedged portfolios.
Right.
But I'm sure many of the CFOs would be hedging their position, especially what has happened with the rupee dollar, what has happened with the interest rate. And I discussed about the interest rate situation, that don't expect interest rates to go down.
Sir, I want to ask you, now with 2026 seeing intensified global trade tensions, how are you stress testing your margins against potential import cost shocks or export headwinds?
See, as far as India is concerned, for materials, any country pays the same price. Where materials are domestically available, maybe on a slightly lower end, because if there is too much of a gap, then maybe that metal itself will be exported without any processing. So the arbitrage mainly is in labor costs and in infrastructure. As far as labor costs are concerned, still, although the costs have increased now, recent labor code may step up costs maybe 10%, the industry is 10-12% is envisaged. Still, as compared to the rest of the world, they are on a lower side. leave aside those countries which are like Vietnam, Malaysia, where they are still on a lower side. So maybe whatever is doable, because as far as quality is concerned, Indian labor force is giving one of the best qualities. Because incidentally, you know, the Maruti was put up one of the first foreign vehicle, and it was Japanese CEO who was running it maybe for a couple of decades.
Now, my next question is again, to both of you. I want to understand, is the China plus one strategy finally hitting the bottom line in 2026? Or is a lack of specialized infrastructure still making it a long-term dream rather than a short-term win? So I'll begin with you.
So China plus one has been a very popular theme. And of course, the reality and the expectations,
Yes.
there is a big gap, because China has been a manufacturing engine, and China doesn't give so much importance to the costs. So China has been dumping manufactured goods across the world. Some people also say that our low inflation, one of the reasons is the low cost Chinese inputs. So I think while in theory China plus one is going to work, I would rather say it's a long-term structural thing,
Yes.
and not necessarily a short-term aspect
Or a win,
there.
as
Alok sir, what is one myth about the capital market that you would like the public to negate today itself?
And suddenly people have realized that the money doesn't happen magically. So, and lot of myths in the sense that people do not know there are other alternatives. So there is bonds, there is other asset classes like gold, ETFs, etc. So many things which are available which people are not aware of.
Do you think a healthy stock market is a sign of the nation's prosperity, or it is just an indicator that can be false sometime?
So ultimately, it is the capital market which gives you place where you have invested in a particular corporate. It has made fortunes. You can share that fortunes, monetize that fortunes, and maybe exit also at an appropriate time whenever the need arises. So certainly, healthy capital market is need of the hour everywhere in the industry.
You have been working very closely with MSME sector, right? And Startup India has really provided a boost to this sector, right? But CAs are generally analytical. They look through numbers and have a sense of, identifying opportunities amongst the risks. So how do you identify companies or MSMEs where you prefer to invest?
When you look at investing, it is akin to taking a credit call also, that whether the person is credit worthy. When we lend, for example, we look at the biggest thing is the reputation of the company, how has been the track record of the company, and then we move on to financials. The biggest thing is cash flow. The company has to generate cash, and till the time the company cannot generate cash, we really don't think of investing or lending to company.
So what is your capital investment mantra?
And my mantra is definitely, I always have been looking at more of a longer perspective. But I have been a bit more risk-taking, so my portfolio in equity is quite high.
What is your investment mantra, sir?
I think very, very strong capital market is the need of our, and our chartered accountants are supposed to play great role in the capital market. First, we have to understand the capital market. First, we have to start investing our own. Then we'll understand more, and then we will be in a position to play as an expert for the business entities, for the investors in the capital market. So, chartered accountants are best suited. You see, out of 10 top players in the capital market, you will find 9 the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. और वो 10वां हो सकता है वो राकेश झुंझुनवाला हो, because he is expired, so that position may be vacant. So Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, who started his journey from an investment of rupees 5,000 at the age of 22 after becoming chartered accountant, you can very well understand that what wealth he has generated
He expired at the age of 60 years, but the wealth which he has generated, लोग 7 पीढ़ियों के लिए बोलते हैं और 700 पीढ़ियों के लिए भी ख़त्म नहीं कर सकती उसको. That wealth has been generated. And you do take the name of Ramdev, Agrawal or Motilal Oswal, all are members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So nobody other than a chartered accountant, no other professional is better suited than a chartered accountant to contribute in that particular field.
Coming to Alokji, what about debt market? How it has evolved?
I think references had been made by Ms. Pathak ji and Chitli ji on the debt market. I'll just add to it. Now there are certain, of course, all our chartered accountant colleagues and friends will not have this misconception, but a lot of people have this misconception that equity is free for the issuer because you don't have to return it back. But actually, it is one of the most expensive form of raising capital. Let me give an example with something which is very large number. It may not be extremely comparative example for many of us, but can anybody guess what valuation did Prudential attain for its stake when the Prudential ICICI AMC listed in December? What was the value of the stake? Any guess? 52,000 crores. What did they invest in 98? 100 crores. Okay. So had they taken debt, had ICICI taken debt and put that money in, they would have paid only 300 crores. They ended up paying 52,000 crores to Prudential because they had taken equity. So from an issuer perspective, debt is very cheap. And not many people realize that. And from the investor perspective, today it's an alternative to equity markets. Today, if you want to earn fixed income every month or every year or every quarter, bonds, which are debentures, are a very good source. So slowly and steadily that market is opening up. Today the size of that market is around 50 lakh crores in India. And equity market is 450,000 lakh crores. So it's almost 1/9 of the equity market. In the world, debt market is double of equity market. So the scope of growth is so large. So that potential is there in India and it is slowly starting. And that will soon, we will see that becoming very common.
Absolutely. Now, coming to Neha again. Neha, do you think that, advent of technology and especially AI can really help CFOs or finance professionals to gauge the health of a company?
One word answer is no. But I think for those who have tried some hands-on AI, they know that it is being trained by us and not from what market generally is. It is more of what type of searches we do, it gives back the answers. So maybe the infancy of AI can be ignored for a while, for a few more years.
And mostly the answers are what we want to hear.
What you want to know. So AI is just 3-4 years old in India, we can say so generally also. So I think we can use it for research, but not definitely taking decisions from a CFO perspective, because CFO perspective includes a lot of other things also.
Have you ever in your career had to face, pressure from investor or your management where you resisted vanity valuation, right? And how did you navigate that?
And at many moment of time, customers' expectation and the markets is always there is a gap. The customer wants more and the markets are not ready to give that much. Navigating that gap is very difficult, because everybody has a higher sense of worth and market always has a lower sense of worth, and trying to meet that, you have to just probably convince and show them that there is this demand in the market and nothing more. Because you don't want an issue to fail. The moment you overprice an issue, it will fail. Last 1 or 2 years is not an indication of how markets behave. Last 1 or 2 years are an aberration.
Neha, what is your advice to a first-time investor in the capital market?
I think a diversified portfolio will always help. So in terms of whether this is better or that is better, I think always a balanced and diversified portfolio is what is better for any person, individual or an organization.
Alok sir?
You have to have patience. Markets can be irresponsible or irrational for longer time than you have patience for. And you might end up losing money. So one is patience. And secondly, don't get into fads or fashions. Fashions are good for clothing. They're not good for investment.
Sir, your closing view on India's capital market and its, growth in the coming 10 years maybe.
Ultimately, the investment should be such that it will give you returns after hedging the inflation. And for that, capital market is the only place where the inflation is hedged and you can invest. And as Alok said that, okay, patience also. So if you invest maybe at the age of 50 years, then maybe after 60 years, it must have grown substantially. It is not a game of months. So maybe foreign youngsters or for anybody, if he is earning, say, X amount, like we say, there are basic needs like food, shelter, then clothing. I think the basic need is also investment. So from day one has to allocate something for the investment. After having allocated, I think capital market is the only place where he can invest, because the moment you want, you can enter, the moment you want, you can exit. Of course, you have to look at longer horizon so that your needs are also satisfied.
Right. Anuj sir, last question of the panel today. Sir, India is well on course for Viksit Bharat, and CAs and CFOs are the driver for it, right? And they are the vital cog who are driving capital markets as well. What is your message to them so that we are able to achieve the vision of Viksit Bharat by 2047?
The role of the chartered accountants, the CFOs, towards the journey of Viksit Bharat is very, very important. And that capital market has to be used as a tool, because lot of FDI we can expect in the capital market. And you are very well aware that Indian capital market is giving the best of the return across the globe. And we should have the long-term goal. We should never be the part of the short-term goal or some sort of trap, because the ultimately the value addition in the long term, I think that is the most important thing. To build the goodwill in the long term is the most important thing. And the most successful CFO is not that CFO whose company is generating profits in the short term, but ultimately how you are creating wealth in the long term for the investors also and for your promoters also. I think that is the most important thing. So we are supposed to have very, very good expertise of the capital market. All the key managerial personnel, all the CFOs, you don't have any choice but to have very, very good expertise in this capital market. And through this capital market as a tool, you can grow your company to the next level and can be the part of the Vixit Bharat. We are supposed to have very, very strong capital market if we have to become the Vixit Bharat.